Greetings, your cartoonist pal Stan here with a brand new episode of Random Encounters, the show where I use random encounter tables, like the kind you find in tabletop role playing games, such as Dungeons and Dragons, and together with input from you and an electronic die roller, and yeah, that's it. Those two things, I come up with brand new, never before seen uh, drawing prompts, ideas, basic nuggets, and from that I draw a cartoon of whatever that thing is with your input. And I want your input. Love your input. And I do this because it's fun. I enjoy doing it. It's a load of fun. And I tell you one one very clear example of that is I got totally lost in what I was doing, forgot what time it was until about 8 minutes ago, and so I was like, "All right, I could just, you know what, I could forget. Do I really need to rush into this?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, because it's fun," and that's why I'm here. Also, I want to encourage folks. I want to show how much fun it is to do drawing, and that's the kind of sneaky purpose of this show is to kind of get people back to drawn for the fun of it. I encourage you to grab your favorite notebook and pen, or drawing pad and pencil, or marker, or electronic drawing implement of choice, and just draw along. You don't have to draw what I'm drawing. You can draw whatever you like. You can use a picture of that someone else drew that you want to draw a copy of. Don't let anyone tell you that that's not only valid thing to do. It's a worthwhile thing to do, and it's a fun thing to do. And, if you want to draw something I drew from a previous show, go ahead. If you want to draw something that another artist you like drew, or even better, if you're not trying to do it just like them, but do your interpretation of it, that that I encourage you. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. Same thing we do every week. And I do my drawing on an Apple Pro with the Apple Pencil and the Apple Procreate. None of which are sponsors. No sponsors here on the show. But people ask, and so I tell them. I would. I keep thinking it would be fun. I watch other artists do actual physical drawing, but it just requires a camera setup I don't have. And one of these days I'll be cleaned up enough and have a clamp. I have things I could use to do that, but there's just no room around here for it. And even if there was room for the clamp, there's no room on my desk. I'd have to move off all the stuff I need for running the show on the computer. So that seems unlikely to do. We're going to stick with the digital, which I really like. I really like, but I understand that sometimes you want to see my hand rather than just the result on the screen. I get it. I get it. I hear you. For now, this is what we got. For now, I say. This is episode 108, I think. 108? I think so. So we've been doing this for over 2 years, into the third year, and still having a lot of fun. Fun on Thursday nights. And hello, Michael Monk says sympathies spent the day setting up your desk. Yeah, the problem is that my desk area is set up, and I have used all the space, and until I have a new desk area that I can stage things out to or get a bigger space, yeah, there's not going to be any more setting up. I've just got to live with it. Anyway, there we go. That's my story this Thursday, and I'm sticking with it. I'm going to grab my iPad here. Like I say, I came flying onto the show. My hair's not quite right. I was working on a project, and had my head down on it, and it was um, actually it was a 15 minutes to showtime alarm that I set up for myself that I never need, but I needed it today. Um, because it reminded me, and I had to go grab stuff and get things set up so I could be here to have some fun with y'all. And I'm glad I am. All right. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? I've got to set everything up. I'm usually all ready to go by the time I hit go live. It's just there waiting. Here, I've got to set this up. Okay. All right. If I do this and I do that, and I come here now, I can switch views, and you can see that these are our encounter tables for the evening. So, for those who've watched before, if you didn't watch last week, you didn't know that I've made a small adjustment. I've increased the size of the encounter tables, and I've changed the way the dice are rolled so that I'm rolling two dice at the same time. One will be a white die, and one will be a black die. And that way, pardon me, we can get one roll and find out what our thing is. So, let's do that, shall we? Let's dive right in before too much time slips away. Here we go. I'm going to come over to the die roller, and we're going to roll up these dice and see what we get. We get, come on, no, come on, there we go, roll them up. And we got a 3 and a 6. 3 and a 6 are our first ones, and that would be a halfling weightlifting. Interestingly, knowing what happened, that 3 and 6 both came up last week. These are replacements I put on. Maybe you should track what numbers this die roller rolls. It does tend to get a lot of re-rolls of the same stuff. Anyway, halfling weightlifting is what we got. So we're going to go to the sketch layer. I'm going to turn on my blue brush because I like to draw in blue. And we're going to have a halfling. Now, the funny thing about doing anything with halflings is, they're small, but like with so many things, the only way to tell that something is large or small is to have it compared to something else. So we're going to have a big weight. Make them a little smaller here. I can make that even bigger. Now the question is, should he be having an easy time of it or a hard time of it? And maybe back here, you can have some guy who's surprised at the halfling lifting that weight. And let's see, how can I make that a little better? I think I want to move the halfling relative to our looky-loo guy. There we go. How are y'all doing? You having a good week? It's been a weird, wild week for me. I've switched up a few things here on my drawing app. Number one is I've changed the if you look at the colors are brighter. I've switched. I had been using CMYK colors, which is the kind of colors you want to use for printing, but and I replaced them with RGB colors, which are brighter and therefore digital output. Now, while I think that I may, one day I could want to print these, I found that usually my RGB colors print okay, and they just have I like the brighter colors more. For the most of the past year, I've been doing. I made the switch over to CMYK for everything, and technically, I thought about it. Yeah, it's what I should want, but I keep looking at the colors of everything I've produced over the past year, and it all feels. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm getting the colors I want to. I'm missing. I'm missing some range, and it's the range that is not great for printing, but it's not unprintable. I don't know. I talk about this too much, and I'm going to get into a really technical uh, conversation. Probably too technical, so I don't want to go too deep into that. But the other thing you may note is that I've increased the the detail level on the file that I'm using. Again, this is going to be a technical specification, so it'll mean something to some of you and not a lot to others. But I switched the file that I'm doing these on from 300 DPI to 600 DPI, which is DPI is dots per inch. And that just allows for greater detail, but it also means that things like the brushes that I've got set up here, they create lines in terms of dots or pixels. And so by doubling the number of available pixels, I've essentially made the lines smaller. And that's fine. That really doesn't hurt anything. But it does mean that the lines will seem thinner based on the size that I've got over here on the left as I move it up and down. This I have these dots on that brush indicator set for the sizes I like the brush to be when I use it. And now I may have to adjust those or create some more lines because the functional size of the dots has changed, has gotten smaller. Anyway, I should stop talking about technical stuff because A, I don't think we want to focus on. I don't think you want to focus on it, and B, it's not describing the technical aspects of the app and the digitization is not my specialty. I understand it well enough to do what I need to do and want to do. And I have, like so many people, it's like driving your car. You know how it works, roughly. You know what you need to do, and you know how to fix some minor problems, or if you need to do X every once, you need to change the oil every once in a while. You need to if a light comes on, you need to consult a mechanic. Um, but really understanding the details of what's going on, most of us aren't great at that. I know I'm not. And my interaction with the drawing, the um, drawing programs, digital drawing, is very similar. I've I've done it for quite a while, and I know how things work, and I know how to adjust things. But if you ask me to really explain it, anyone who's an expert will say this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't really understand it. Fair enough. I guess I don't. I know how to make it work. All right, now we're going to come and draw our big guy in the background, who's very surprised. Don't like that shape of the head. Give him wristbands. I'm going to put him. I don't know if you can see what I've drawn in there, but I'm going to give him a little. He's going to be wearing a tank top. Now here's the thing. Hello, Chris Andrew. I've been thinking a lot about um, how to describe or teaching people to draw. I'm thinking about doing some more videos. No, some more. Starting to do videos about basic drawing, uh, among other things. And I have pointedly not done that because hmm, the same reason I was just talking about. Because I know I know how to do what I'm doing more than I know how to teach the correct terminology, or I just I don't know. I don't feel like a technical expert. I feel like a technical user. Um, and I respect. I've done teaching in the past. I respect teachers and people that know their subjects too much to. I feel a real kind of uh, imposter syndrome when the idea of teaching drawing comes up. I don't feel it when it comes to drawing itself, or even drawing while people are watching me. Hello, Dave Lemon. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, my friend. But I do feel that kind of imposter syndrome when it comes to teaching it. But I think that I'm going to I'm gonna make myself get over that and start uh, doing some videos and some projects around teaching, uh, drawing tips and teaching to draw. I know that I had somewhere that I was pursuant to this drawing that made me start that sentence, and it's gone now. Oh, I know. So when you see anyone giving instruction about drawing, they start breaking down. Very often see people talking about the classical makeup of a human body. A human body is measured by the size of the head. A body is 8 heads high, and this many heads is the chest, and you can measure out the size of the body. And if you were trying to do realistic drawing of any sort, even cartoony realistic drawing, that's very important. But I mean, if you just look at what we've got here, let me switch colors. If this is the size of his head, this guy is in no way 8 heads tall. And the relative size of the hands and the feet completely wrong from a technical uh, um, classical perspective. The halfling even more so, right? I guess you could make an argument that a halfling is not a human anyway, so that the the proportions would be different. But anyway, I've been thinking about this kind of thing and about how uh, and what a mistake it is to take people who are just starting to draw, which is my emphasis here. And when we talk about what I'm doing here, I say drawing is fun. You should just draw. You should draw for fun. And if you're doing that, if you go to the internet or get a book and it starts giving you those kinds of instructions, that's not what you need at all. That's refining for a specific purpose, uh, and that purpose is to draw realistic, classical style images. Most people just want to draw a cartoon of one sort or another. You just want to be able to quickly draw a guy. You want to draw something for playing. What's the game? The charades, the drawing charades. God, I can't remember the name of the stupid game. Um, or doodling something down. And you don't need that kind of detail there. Again, look at what we've got here. As I turn this off, the proportions on these are completely wrong for anything that's classical. Hello, Cindy Robertson. Thank you for joining us. I will now go to the color section and switch to my gloaming brush, which I'm almost certainly going to have to make bigger. Yep, somewhere in the middle. So these are the kind of things I'm thinking about when I think about when I'm talking about doing drawing instructional videos and stuff like that, are approaching it from these other perspectives, these more practical perspectives, practical and beginner, and doing it for fun level perspectives. And those I think I can do with a little easy Pictionary. Thank you, Cindy. I couldn't think of Pictionary. It's so obvious when you say it, because it's exactly what it is, right? That's why it was such a good name for a game. Because any idiot can remember it, except this idiot. All right, let's see. Let's give him kind of orangish hair. Anyway, as the long and short of that is that I'm thinking about um, doing videos like that, and doing uh, some more projects that fit into that realm. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm looking at his chest again. The way that I've put it together is his torso. So not technically correct, but if you learn these little shortcuts, you can put them on there, and even though they're not right, they in the same way that I talk about all the time. I talk about things that you don't have to do it right. You have to make it not so wrong that that your viewer goes, "That's not how it works." I don't like those green. I don't like that green on the wrists. Probably make it the same red as the shorts. From here, we'll give you green for your shirt. Anyway, having said all that, I've now wandered far enough off my original topic that I don't really know what it is, and we'll just move along to some other topic. Mm, there we go. I don't think there's. I don't think we need a lot of extra shading on this one. We have ourselves a halfling uh, weightlifting. Done. And I'll tell you right away, I talked about it a little earlier. I changed up the file format, and I'm already happier with the colors. These are much brighter colors now that I've gone back to using an RGB palette. Um, Fits much better what I've got in my head. I guess I live in an RGB world. I've got an RGB brain in a CMYK world. Worst things you could say about a guy. Anyway, halfling lifting weights. done. Um, oh, sorry, Dave. You said speaking as someone who teaches a variety of skills to scouts, I can tell you that teaching, just like any skill, improves through practice. I agree. I agree. It does, and I know. I know from my experience teaching, which is not inconsiderable, that you're 100% right. Your ability to teach a thing improves a lot as you practice teaching it. And I know that if slash as I take on this new thing, that um, I won't be as good at it as I want to be when I start. But the more I do it, the better I'll get. So 100% right, Dave Lemon. I applaud you, and I'm going to have to keep that in my head. Remember, like anything, kind of like I talk to you guys if you want to draw. We have our friend Lala comes in here a lot, and she often talks about not being able to draw. And I will always say to her, "You've got to start. You got to start bad. You got to know that the first time you draw, you won't be able to draw what you want, and that's okay, because the only way to be able to draw what you want is to start at the level you're at. And this is not just true about drawing. It's true about any new thing you're learning or any uh, new venture you're starting. So I know how good I want to be as a someone who would be teaching uh, drawing related things, and I know I won't be there as I start. But if I practice, I can get there. All right, let's have a sip here. Sip of my Diet Coke or Coke Zero. And give a little wave. There's our Halfling Weightlifting. First drawing for the evening. Let's go back and do a second. So we're going to come here. I'm going to turn off round 1 and turn on round 2. I'm going to come back to our encounter tables. And we're going to go back to the dice. And see what we get for our second drawing of the evening. So we're going to roll the dice around, roll them, roll them, roll them. And we get a 1 and a 10. Which is, in this case, a dragon at the movies. Cindy says, "Are you saying that we have to practice to get good? I want instant results." Yeah, me too. I think you and I both know how likely that is to happen in any endeavor. How likely that is to happen. Dragon at the movies. Okay, so we'll turn that off. We'll come back here. Blue sketch, inking brush. And we want at the movies. So drawing someone at the movies, just in general, right? We can have a bunch of seats and have someone sitting in there with a tub of popcorn enjoying the movie. That's one way to approach this. Another way is to kind of do it from the side. So we've got a square, so we're really only going to get 1 or 2 seats. But they're sitting here with their these are tubs of popcorn, and the idea that, and then you will more easily get the idea of a movie being broadcast or shown onto the screen. I suppose back here I could have a light that gets into very difficult for simple cartooning. I don't want that. I'm even going to erase that out of our rough sketch. Two dragons reviewing the movie. That's kind of funny. All right, let's. So let me clear that layer, and we'll come back here. And when I draw dragons, I often talk about simple shapes. Dragons, I do a lot of triangles. Dragons are very triangular for me. Triangular heads, triangular bodies. A lot of triangles. What I've got here, I've got the idea of an aisle going back between them with rows of seats behind them. I've got a very rough set here, but let me just do a little more sketch. So there we go. That's enough for me. Can you see what I've got going on here? All right, we'll switch over to the lines layer, and got a lot going on here. So we'll start. Where do I want to start? I'm going to start with the eyes. Kind of. One eye, anyway. Then I feel like I need to put that horn in because it's going in front. Now I have made the brush bigger than last time. I was talking about how I'd resize this and the brushes weren't performing in the same way. Well, in order to make up for that, I've made the brush bigger this time and perhaps a little bigger than I need it to be. But now here's the thing that comes up a lot is the need for wings on dragons. Do I need to give these dragons wings? Give these dragons wings? That'll make things harder on me. I'm not against making things harder, but I want to get more bang for my buck. Thinking I'm just going to leave the wings off. We got one dragon giving a thumbs up. Now we got another dragon. Also, you'll see based on a triangular head shape, but a slightly different triangular head shape. Right? This guy on the left, his triangle goes like that with a triangle on top of it, and triangles coming off the side. This guy is like that with another triangle on the nose. Again, also some triangles coming off the side. But both of them triangle shaped. He's not happy. This second guy. Any of you seen any particularly good or bad movies this week? I saw a really bad movie last weekend. It wasn't in the theaters. It was on Apple Plus. I see that chat is going on. I have my head down. Give me a second and I'll look up. Try and catch what you guys are saying. That thumb's in the wrong place. Suppose I can give them wings. I was talking about wings before. This has been a thing that I'm happy to draw dragons without wings, and if I leave, even if I give them unnaturally small wings, people don't complain. But if I don't put any wings on them at all, I get complaints or comments. Say dragons have wings. How can you leave without the wings? There we go. Again, it doesn't have to be right. It just can't be wrong. It can't be drawing attention to itself wrong. Dragons at the movies. We got a lot going on here. Okay, we got. I'm gonna pause here and look at what's going on. Excuse me. There's no smoking in this theaters. Oh, Chris, Siskill and Ebert. Yeah, well, sure. That's their names now. Um, Funny, two dragons are arguing over the movie Dragonheart. I think Sean Connery was excellent. Uh, Yo Yo Cervico. Hey, Adam Blunt, thank you for joining in. How to Train Your Dragon is ridiculous. Yeah, they're all you could do a really funny uh, comic or series of comics about dragons reviewing movies and the movies they review, the dragon related movies they review. Oh, Dave Lemon mentions that Peter Kwan, one of the Storms, who played Rain in Big Trouble in Little China, passed away. I can't say that I'm aware of much he's done in recent years, but I also watch. I remember him very well from that role. Here's to your memory, Peter Kwong. All right, let's turn off the sketch layer. Come on. Go. Turn off the sketch layer. See what we've got. That's a good start. That'll do. And let's do some coloring. So we'll go to the color layer, come back to my gloaming brush, and start in on this. Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China, one of my all-time favorite movies. Peter Kwong, um, of the three uh, actors who played the Storms, the one that played Thunder was pretty clearly uh, English was not his most the language he was best in. I'm not saying it's certainly better than my Mandarin, but whenever the lines he gave came with a very distinct uh, accent. Peter Kwong had only a couple of lines. He's clearly a American of Chinese descent. He a very very clear delivery, which in the end makes me even more curious why I never saw him in much of anything else. Maybe he was mainly uh, and I would guess that he was mainly a stunt performer, but he had a lot of charisma, and his delivery was good on the lines they gave him. All right, so there's a red dragon, and why don't we go with a black dragon? A little darker than that. And as I so often do, purple tongue. Monsters have purple tongues. See, that's a really weird usage. A simple little thing I was just doing up here of the shape within a shape. How do I want to show that these chairs are individual chairs? Well, I mean, I could take the time to color them in fully, or I could just do a little sloppy bit. But really, each one is a shape. And so rather than having a flat color, if I do that, it helps to identify them as the chairs in the background without me adding really a lot of extra detail. I'm looking at it and trying to decide if I need anything else. Maybe our black dragon needs yellow eyes. I don't know why, but I think that helps. Here we go. We got dragons at the movies. Come back to my inking pen. And come down to the bottom here, and we'll put a stand. I think I forgot to put a stand on my previous drawing. But there we have dragons at the movies. Looking at the colors here. Oh, I put that stand on the wrong layer. That's going to matter in a second here before I sign that because I want to come in here. I'm looking at these colors and they are stronger than the lines, particularly that black dragon. So I'm going to drop the opacity on them just a little. Just a little. 5, 10%, 7, 8%. Not a lot. Just pull it back a little so the lines pop. And the colors are basically the same, just not quite as intense. Interestingly, that's a problem that I had less frequently while working on these drawings in CMYK. I didn't have this intensity problem nearly as often. Interesting. Don't know if that really says anything, except it's information for me. But there we go. We've got dragons. Uh, Dragons at the movies. Before that, I did. Yeah, I forgot to sign that. Let's do that while we're here. Halfling weightlifting. Those are our two drawings so far. Dave says he just apparently finished filming a movie with Elijah Wood. He's on the National Board of Governors for the Screen Actors Guild and a decades long activist for actors' ethnic equity. There you go. A fine career not so much in the spotlight, but doing important work. All right, let's see. What do I want to talk about? Got a couple of minutes here before we roll over. Oh, I know. I was telling you guys the last couple of weeks. I was telling you about. Here, let me switch back to just me. Just me. I was telling you that I was making some new stickers, taking drawings based on sketches that had been done in on episodes of the show, and I was getting a couple of new stickers printed, and that when they showed up, I would tell you about them. They showed up. So here, my friends, is a sticker based on the dragon skateboarding, which I did a couple of weeks ago, and the centaur on a pogo stick, which is part of the 2-year anniversary show, the 100 characters in 100 minutes. One of them was a centaur on a pogo stick. So I now have stickers. And I've got, yeah, they're not the only stickers I have. What else? I've got other stickers. I've got a lot of stickers. And I promised you that if you wanted to, you could get some, and you can. If you go to stickersbystan.com. I set that up last year. I used it a little bit and then has let it sit for a while. I may be, as part of that thing I was talking about earlier, about doing some videos about uh, uh, drawing tips. I think I'm also going to increase the number of stickers that I do. So here's an idea. Here's the idea, and this is a work in progress. Feel free to let me know what you think. And this is inspired by our friend Lala, who we were talking about earlier. I'm thinking about setting up probably I'll do it um, on Substack. A Substack where each week I will give a drawing challenge, a simple drawing challenge, for everyone to just draw as they wish. And if they want to send it in, I'll post a bunch or make comments in a video or make a post in the Substack. And then I will also do one or more videos about um, either a basic drawing tip, which would be useful in this, or a specific drawing tip about drawing the thing. I'll probably also do a quick, short process video of me doing my drawing of it. And then when all is said and done, I will make a sticker out of it. And people that want to can, through stickersbystan.com or by subscribing, get the stickers. And go from there. My goal, my hope, and I think I was talking about this last week. I would love if I could get um, standing room only tips. I don't even know what that means. um, if I could get 100 people to be interested in subscribing to the stickers, where you get or subscribing to the Substack, being a paid subscriber, and it's at $5 a week. So that's what I charge for the stickers when I sell them. $5. So $5 for the stickers. $5 to get the stickers and have access to all of the materials. Some of it would be made public. Some of it would be only for subscribers. Some of it would be for free subscribers. Haven't figured that out. But yeah, it doesn't seem like a crazy dream that I could get 100 people interested in that. And if I could get 100 people interested in that, I could stop taking a lot of the freelance I take and focus on doing this more. Um, I was about to go into a rant I don't want to do right here, but I would very much like to get that going. I would like to set up a world like that. So 100 at a goal. If I got to 50, that would be a part of a goal. That would help a lot in that product. I could give up some of what I'm doing to focus on this. But I've got to get it started, and that is where I'm at right now. Is getting it started. In the meanwhile, you don't have to wait for me to get that started. You can go to Stickers by Stan right now and get these two stickers. And I think there are 3 or 4 other stickers I've got available for purchase right there. Tell your friends. Please, please tell your friends. Visit if you'd like. Don't feel any pressure. That's the thing I would love to get people to sign up, but I don't want to pressure people to sign up, if you know what I mean. Just trying to think of a fun name for the segment that incorporates my name. Oh, standing room. Yeah, standing room only tips. That's I see what you're doing there. Good thought. It's a long walk. You're asking a lot of the audience to make that to go there with you. It's the kind of thing that once you know what it is, boy does it work. Um, but people coming on it cold, less likely. Though adding the exclamation point in the middle, so it's standing room only, would be a help. Anyway, there you go. That's what I wanted to stop and tell you all. I have the stickers, these 2 new stickers done. I've got other stickers around. I think that one of them, sorry, this is wrapped in plastic right now. One of them is my lizard bard sticker. Um, stickers, please. Stickers by Stan. Go there. Enjoy it. The end. No wonder I don't have any sponsors. I'm terrible at this. Okay. Having done all that, let me reset my tablet here so that everything is where I want it to be. And come back here. And let's go and do one more drawing, and then we can call it a night. So we'll come over to the dice, and we'll roll the dice one more time and see what we get. We roll them around, and we get a 9, a 5, and a 9 are our 2 numbers here. That would be a vampire doing laundry. Vampire doing laundry. So we'll come here. My first thought is definitely this is definitely a how do you get the bloodstains out question. That's got to be the vampire's wonder. All right, so we will. Here we're gonna have the vampire. I know I need to talk. I understand. I understand how this works. A little smaller than that. No. Stand and deliver. Okay. Yep. Right layer. And what do we got? So, I want my vampire to be wearing a cape because, you know, he likes to be fancy. And we got our washing machine here. Again. We talk about simple shapes. That's doing things like washing machines and uh, a lot of mechanical stuff is a lot about understanding the simple shapes that make them up. Like I don't have to worry about if I'm getting the washing machine right. If I can make it like a cube, and see there, the basic thing I've done is set up the washing machine like a cube with a tall back side, and I don't, and it's good enough, right? It fits into that realm of um, may not be right, but it's not so wrong that you will question it. I'm pretty sure you see where the joke is coming here. Wow, this one's turning out a lot faster than I thought it would. Laundry sucks, and not in a good way. Okay. Can kind of see how quickly you can put something in and it can work. Turn off the sketch layer. Where do I want to add more details? All right, go to the colors layer. Back to our gloaming brush. People who've been around me know that I like to give vampires this one of the creatures that I like to give the pale purple skin to. I don't know where I picked that up, but I feel pretty strongly about it. That's looking vampire-y. You know what I didn't do? Come back to the lines layer for a second. Can you figure it out? What did I not do? What's kind of missing from this stage of the laundry? Anyone? Anyone? I suppose I'm going to draw it while you're trying to guess it, but here we go. This will give it away, I think. It's coming out of the laundry. It's got to be wet. A couple of lines like that, and suddenly, that's I guess the point to take out of this is, in order to get an idea across, it often doesn't take a lot. Just a couple of lines. Now, granted, it I know it's easy for me to say because I know I have a pretty good idea of where good places to put those lines are. Right? If you put them in the wrong places, they don't really help. But it's not that hard to learn, and it it's not like putting them in the wrong places will ruin your drawing either. There we go. I knew it. I knew it. I was using the wrong pen for a second there. I had switched over in order to get the pinpricks right, and then didn't switch back. There we go. I think in this one we will want a little bit of extra shading to help sell the reality of it. Not a lot, just a little. Ooh, that's too dark. See, I wanted that shading to be dark, but not as dark as the inside of the cape. And now let's go back to the sketch layer and fool around with some possible things to say. I'm going to look here. Laundry sucks and not in a good way. That's a good one. I haven't found a good laundromat in 500 years. What a pain in the neck. Pain in the neck. I think the pain in the neck is a funny, the funniest part of that. 500 years, I still can't figure out how to get the blood out. I think and as much as I like the end not in a good way, I think that's a good audio. I like laundry sucks just on its own for a written version of it. And like all things, these are anything comedy related. Uh, it's very much seasoned to taste. I would be while I'm happy to talk and give strong suggestions and advice on drawing. Um, Gags and gag writing uh, is really a personal style and things that I hear and I go, yeah, I wouldn't do that. The truth of the matter is, it's not that I don't think they're funny. It's like they don't fit my style. Even that, and I don't mean the good way. As I said before, I would totally use that if I was telling the joke, but I wouldn't use it here for just a quick gag cartoon. Let's stick a stand down in the corner because I think we have completed this one. Cindy, I wasn't taking it sexually either, though. I did get that it could be. It worked. It worked without that, but you're right. You eliminate all possibility of it being misunderstood that way. I hadn't. I had. I didn't make that as a misunderstanding, but yeah, it's there. Laundry sucks. The one I on my own that I would have gone with without your input here, I definitely would have been the 500 years and I still can't figure out how to get blood out or something like that. Which I is not as funny as this. So thank you for making my cartoon funnier. All right, there we go. Laundry sucks. This, you know what? And hold up a sticker again. This has sticker potential. Very often, the ones with captions on it or word balloons on it, I don't go for stickers. Um, Stickers are just usually better. I found they sell better if it's just a funny image, but this with the laundry sucks, I think could work. This is now on the list for potentially being redone as a sticker, and it's reasonably high up on the list at the moment. All right, that was good. Let's do up my hair and have one more sip, and then we can wrap this up and call it a week. Get ready for our weekend. Get into the end of May and the start of June. Holy crap! I hate that. Can you believe it's June? But I'm feeling I can't believe that it's almost June. All right, you ready? You could, vampire doing laundry. He's he learned the lesson, the same lesson we do. Laundry sucks. That was our third drawing this week. Vampire doing laundry. Before that, we had dragons at the movies. A dragon at the movies. And before that, we started off the evening with a halfling weightlifting. Those were our prompts for the evening. Those are our drawings for the evening. I had a lot of fun folks in the chat with me. Thank you all for coming around. Cindy Robertson and Chris Andrew, David Lemon, and Michael J. Pastor. Anyone else popped in here? Adam Blunt came in and said hi for a second. I know that we've had more folks. We got other folks who are watching. Thank you for joining us. Don't worry, I don't need you to come in and talk. You're welcome to sit back and watch. Uh, and those of you watching on replay, thank you too. I would like to, as a kindness, ask you all, please, whatever platform you're watching this on, give it a like. Give it a thumbs up or a heart or a like or whatever the button is on that platform. It helps me to get the show presented to a wider audience, and so more people can join us and have fun with us. Another thing that would be super helpful would be after this finishes being live, if you could take a minute or so to just drop a little comment, particularly on Facebook. Facebook is where I have the archives for the show, and that's where it does me the most good professionally to gather an audience. So please take a second to just leave a comment. Ha, funny stuff tonight. Oh, Stan, you really weren't on this week. I think that Chris Andrews' vampire joke was better. Whatever. I'll reply to you. Also, remember, I showed you before that I have two new stickers based on drawings done in this show that you can pick up right now at stickersbystan.com. Uh, Pop on in. There are some other stickers you can order while you're there too. And as I said during the show, I'm working on some plans to start doing stickers more regularly and opening up kind of a sticker subscription service. So, Stickers by Stan would be a place to keep an eye on that too, if you don't want to come back here every week. But really, why wouldn't you want to come back here next week? I'll be here. I'll be here doing more improv cartooning, rolling the dice, getting improv, getting prompt suggestions, getting suggestions from you, and turning them into cartoons for the fun of it I know I've had fun tonight. I hope you have too. And I hope that you will be with me again next week when we do it all again. Until then, take care, everyone.